The man had been away from home for 6,000 years, but when he finally set foot on his homeland again, he discovered that, despite being the lord of the galaxy, a group of foreign settlers was blocking his way. Not only did they refuse to let him in, they turned the tables, pointing fingers and declaring that he was the intruder. Watching his familiar homeland being overrun by alien settlers, a fire of anger ignited within him instantly. He knew very well that it was his long absence that had allowed these settlers to pour onto Earth without restraint. Now, it was time to make them understand who the real master of Earth was.
我知道你们移民总局看得到，记住，你们的主权范围仅限于海域，地球各大陆，你们休想染指。
But his words did nothing to make Intercepting King, the top official of the Immigration Bureau, relent. In his view, even if the man was a direct disciple of the Lord of Chaos, he couldn't possibly shake the foundations of the immigrants. After all, most of those who had settled on Earth came from humanity's 5 great powers, including descendants of cosmic rulers. Before he could finish speaking, a suffocating, terrifying aura suddenly enveloped the land and sky. Even the formidable Intercepting King felt a chill crawl up his spine. When everyone traced the source, they discovered it was an immortal-class, thousand-vine heart-eating grass, its power rivaling that of a top-tier warrior. It turned out that to prevent the settlers from continuing their crimes, the man had unleashed the heart-eating grass, covering more than half of Earth. At the same time, he issued a final ultimatum. Within 12 hours, anyone remaining on the native lands of Earth would have only one fate: death. At first, Intercepting King thought it was a bluff, but the next moment, the decree of the Lord of Chaos arrived in person. Any settler who set foot on the land or entered the airspace would face the death penalty. Even then, Intercepting King clung to a sliver of hope until he approached the border, and the man's cold voice rang out in advance.
你将死于千藤石青草之手，还是死于我属下之手？若不然，便赶紧离开。
Faced with this blunt threat, Intercepting King and his men had no choice but to retreat in shame. With the thousand-vine heart-eating grass guarding the Earth, peace was temporarily restored. The man set out once more to search for the 3rd metal plate, but before that, there was one task he had to complete: to avenge his teacher, Huyan Bo.
告诉我，杀死老师的是谁？
Meanwhile, on the planet of Demon Hand, the Demon Hand King was cruelly torturing his newly purchased servants, their screams feeding his twisted desires. As he wallowed in his depravity, a voice that made the soul tremble suddenly cut through the air.
大人，你我素昧平生，不知何处得罪了您，还请大人明示。